If you're enjoying this podcast to the point where you're inspired to make your own, first of all, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Have you heard about Anchor by Spotify? It's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Anchor has tools that will allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello, friends and family, strangers and acquaintances, my future children, and my future self. It's going to be another one of those entries where this is actually not scripted, and I have the lovely Lex with me, as always.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very good. What is today?
Today is our anniversary.
And how long have we been together?
7 years.
7 years. And we've known each other even longer.
Oh, yeah. How long have we known each other?
We met in 2013.
Okay. So
going on 9 years.
Almost
9 years.
That's weird.
So 2 years of the friend zone. No, I'm kidding.
Hey. Hey.
I'm kidding. Partially. We're going to be playing a little game, but before we do that, I thought it'd be fun to, I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast before, but if not, this is a great refresher. You want to talk about how we officially got together?
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's me because obviously I'm the one who initiated it.
Yeah, makes a little more sense for you to tell the story.
So one of my favorite restaurants growing up, and it makes me sad that there's not too many around anymore, is Old Country Buffet.
Yeah.
And if you were lucky enough to have it, you know, it's great. It really was. It was a buffet, and it had a bunch of almost like a lot of like Southern comfort food. Like I think when I think of Old Country Buffet, I think of the very buttery like dinner rolls.
The rolls, yeah.
I think of the baked beans. They had other stuff too. They had like a salad bar.
The pies. They had so many like
the
desserts.
what?
Pies.
Pies, yeah. Yep. They had that.
Dessert.
They had like a carving station for like meat.
Meats. Like there was like chickens and steak and stuff and all kinds.
And it was great. I mean, it wasn't anything like super gourmet, but it
was like good comfort food.
And it was good like buffet food. Like, you know how some buffets, aren't that great. Not throwing shade
like
at
hit
anyone.
Or miss.
Yeah. But I mean, for me, this Old Country Buffet was great. And I don't think it wasn't a special occasion or anything. We just decided to go to the nearest one, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because
which is actually, it's just not there anymore. But from where we live now, it's like it would have been 20 minutes away.
Which we would have probably gone all the fucking time.
Oh my gosh, yeah, for sure.
Because it's like one of your favorite places.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know whose idea it was. I want to say it might have been your idea, but it might have been mine as well because...
I mean, it was probably a mutually beneficial idea. We were probably hungry, and we were like, you like this place. Yeah.
And so after eating, it's a buffet. We definitely overate.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so... we decide to just chill. Let's just digest for a second. So we put the seats down in the back of my car and
literally were just laying down in your car.
Yeah, we laid down, like we were sprawled out, just like drunk full almost. And I don't know, just everything up until that point, I felt really good about where we were in our friendship, and I felt very confident in asking you to be my girlfriend. I was like, you know what? I think it went like this. I think I looked at you and I was like, let's make it official. Like, let's date. And then you're like, well, we're already, in theory, we're dating, We're hypothetically dating. We're not dating. That's a big inside joke with us because all the ways to say we're officially dating without saying we're officially dating.
Yeah, exactly.
We found like those loopholes.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was like, all right, I am so confident where we are right now. I'm gonna straight out ask you, will you be my girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of took a second, I saw a smile creep up, and you're like, okay. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. And you're like, okay. And then I think I kissed you.
Yeah. And
is that
here we are?
Here we are, 7 years later. But would you say that that's accurate to what you remember?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate from what I remember.
How were you? How did you feel then?
Well, I was happy, but I was also apprehensive.
Do you want to talk about why you were apprehensive?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that was the big instigator for like the whole not dating thing, right? Mm-hmm. Is that like I wasn't really sure. I ultimately just didn't want to hurt you, and I felt that I had only seriously anyway dated women up till that point, and for the most part, and even largely to this day, I'm pretty much 95% attracted to women. So
same.
Yeah, same. So it's for me that felt like getting into a relationship with a man just seemed like it was going to fail, basically, and which is why I didn't want to do it. But there was something in me that whole time that was always kind of in the back of my head, nagging, definitely a gut instinct kind of thing, that something telling you that this is something that's meant for you, you know? And yeah, and I say this really to you and really everybody, but you were the best decision that I ever made. I'm really glad that I made that decision. You're the one who asked me, but I was the one who said yes.
Right.
So, but
well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm
Thanks for asking.
You're welcome. I'm glad I have not made you regret your decision.
Oh, definitely not. And I mean, a lot of that was just my internal kind of problems with I had labeled myself something, and I had gone through the process of coming out and told everybody I was this one thing, and a lot of it was societal expectations of how people were going to view me.
And then that's where the problem with labels
come into play.
Right. It's so limiting.
Yeah, labels are very limiting. Labels can be very helpful, but labels can also be very unhelpful in situations like this.
Right. Labels can help you learn more about yourself, but it can also restrict yourself. So you have to understand that balance. Yeah,
you really do. And I can say through that experience, while it wasn't a particularly comfortable experience, going us becoming friends and you saying that you loved me and then me being no, basically. I still feel bad about that. I will regret that.
I don't know.
Forever.
Again, I can't remember if we said this on the podcast yet, but the first time I ever told you I loved you, this was when we were still sort of becoming friends.
All of our stories need a lot of fucking context. You know what?
Well, yeah. When I told you I loved you, the first thing you said was, "Why does this always happen to me?" And I was like, "Oh, that sounds so here we go again."
Bad. It sounds bad, but it also sounds so self-involved. But
I get it.
But it's also one of those things where it's it
true.
Really did happen to me. Pretty much literally everybody I've ever dated has ever told me that they loved me way before I did, and even mostly men have told me that they loved me when we weren't even a couple. We weren't even involved. We weren't even none of that. It was just a perceived affection, mostly one-sided.
Right.
A lot of the time, and these men would just tell me that they loved me. And like, we were friends, sure. Like, kind of like how me and you were friends.
Right.
You know? And so from my perspective, yeah, it was very much like, what the fuck? Why does this keep happening?
Yeah. And I remember like another thing you said to me was, are you sure you're not just in love with the idea of love?
Yeah. But the context of that too is that like you were definitely pining after somebody else before like we started dating.
Right.
So like I wasn't really sure. I wasn't 100% sure of like your intentions and like.
That's fair.
Yeah, like, and yeah, because like I don't obviously like knowing what I know now is different.
Yeah.
Than what I knew then.
Yeah. Well, where I was at that point, I mean, I know you know this now, but I'm just gonna say this for context is, I was pining for someone else. Then I had met you, and we sort of became friends through, I guess, me pining for that other person, and then you also just getting out of like your relationship, and then like I don't know, somehow that like kind of like bonded us, and I slowly like drifted away from the other person and drifted towards you, and it was pretty much because like you were giving me the attention, the time, the amount of care that I wish the other person did, and you were always so genuine.
Yeah.
And so that's why, you know, I was like, wow, you are special, and like,
oh, thanks, baby.
I have to like I can't let you go. I can't let you slip through the cracks. And I mean, consensually, of course. Like,
yeah.
If you had said no and like
Been
it was
like-
a hard,
been like,
hard,
fuck
hard
off.
no,
Yeah.
I would have respected that.
Well, that's good because a lot of men don't.
I know.
And I've definitely had
Well,
that
you
happen.
know me. I try not to
Yeah.
be like a lot of other men.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I try really hard
Yeah,
not
for
to be
real.
a nice guy. TM.
It's definitely, unfortunately, a trope that people tend to often fall into. But
You know, ever since we had the one conversation about instead of being a nice guy, be a good man,
Yeah.
that has really stuck with me.
yeah,
I'm just like, oh yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I am not a nice guy, or, well, I'm not going to say what I am. I'd like to think I'm a good man.
yeah, I would agree with that. Like, I feel like a nice guy has like a kind of, especially lately, a negative connotation for sure.
Very much. Yeah.
And yeah, like,
Because
being-
it comes with like a sense of entitlement. It's like,
yeah,
I'm a nice guy, that therefore you should give me a chance. And it's just like,
you should do XYZ for me, or like,
I
give
see
you
what
a
you
chance.
got there, but no, you're not entitled to that
You're
chance.
not entitled to anything. No,
No.
like the other person still has, free will and choice in the matter.
Exactly.
It's you just because you did all of these things doesn't mean they owe you anything.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So, and if that person's not willing to give anything, give anything to you, maybe reevaluate.
And I mean, and it says a lot about you if you were only doing those nice things for that. Like, you should be doing it because you want to do it.
Yeah, because
and you want to be nice.
It's a genuine like feeling that you have,
Yeah.
not because you're going to get something out of it.
Right.
Yeah. And I feel like there was like a lot of not all of the men, obviously, but a lot of the men that, told me that they loved me. Like, I don't really think they loved me. I think they loved what I could potentially like give to them, or like they were attracted to.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah. Or they were attracted to the fact that, oh, you're gay and like I can, turn you straight, which, at being a queer woman who is like in a heterosexual relationship is very interesting, because like in no way has have you ever turned me straight, but
Right.
it just so happens to be that like the person that you are is in this body, this shape, and like that matters more to me.
Right. And that kind of mindset is just super problematic.
Yeah, for sure. It's
like,
very problematic.
It's hard to dissect to someone why it is if they aren't willing to like understand that, or aren't willing to like try to be open to that.
And that whole kind of general issue right there is like a lot of what I wanted to avoid. I didn't think that like everybody would have that kind of feeling, but just the fact that like I would have to over explain myself again after coming out. And it's like coming out is already a huge process in and of itself. And then to like, you know, have to come out again and change your identity and like, or really not even change it, but evolve into like your new identity is like kind of frustrating because we live in a world and in a society really that doesn't really allow you to just simply be. You have to be something. You have to label yourself as something.
Right.
And fortunately, I think like pansexuality like fits relatively like how I generally do feel.
Yeah.
But that in and of itself could be a whole podcast episode, like the complexities of like my own sexuality and everything. But generally, that's like the label I would like subscribe to the most. But I didn't want to have to like explain to like my family and my friends and like I still like women, but now I'm dating this guy but he's really great and like, you know, you have like for all of the lack of boobs you don't have, the lack of boobs and vagina that you do not have, everything else is like A+. So
thank you.
I can like overlook those cons because everything else is so good.
Thank you.
You know, and I think that like my mind has always been rather flexible like that, which is probably why I could never really like tangibly hold on to like a label, especially when I was younger, because I was never attracted 100% like just to like bodies, like the physicality of people. I was always attracted to like who they were like internally. Like what do your actions say about, you know, who you are as a person? Like what are your thoughts, what are your feelings? I want like introspection and, you know, to know you like interpersonally kind of thing. And it's not to say that like I'm not like physically attracted to anybody, but it's just like very like much lower on the radar for me, for sure. Which is why I think like it made more sense for me to be like, okay, well, you're not what I generally like to say sleep with, but in terms of like everything else I could want in a like a life partner, you're exactly what I would want. So,
hey, I'll take it.
Yeah. So it's like, but that's not to say like, you know, our sex life is fine. You know, it's good.
Oh, thank goodness.
Well, you know
I was worried there for a second. No. No. In all seriousness, I'm more than comfortable and secure with where we're at.
Oh yeah, me too. Like we've definitely, you know, we've had issues and whatever, but it's, you know, we work through them and
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's, you know, we talk about it and there's nothing that I think that I couldn't talk to you about.
Right.
Like even if it's like a difficult conversation and like it might not be like the best topic to bring up or whatever. I don't think that like I couldn't talk to you about it, that you would like walk away from it, you know? Like I feel like we could talk about anything and, you know, largely get through anything. Yeah.
I just wanted to go back to one of the things you were talking about, how like you didn't want to have to like come out again after already coming out. Yeah. And that's where I feel like, I don't know if this is the right term, but like kind of like fluidity should be more of a normalized thing where it's just like, like let's say like if you want to change your pronouns, you should be able to, and just, you know, tell people and they should just respect it. And then if you go back to pronouns or change them again, I just feel like people should just be like, okay, like that's cool. Like, just be okay with that. Just respect people at the end of the day.
Go with the flow and like, it doesn't take a lot to respect people.
Yeah, and I feel like some people really like harp on the like you have to like make a decision, and it's just like, well, why can't that change as I grow and learn more things about me? And
I was definitely told that for sure.
Why does it have like, cause like I hate the idea of someone being like, oh, I thought you were this and now you're this, now you're saying you're that, and it kind of just makes you feel like
that's what I didn't
you don't
want to
know
deal
what
with.
you're doing.
That's what I didn't want to deal with.
I mean, to a degree, I mean, how many of us actually know what we're doing?
Yeah, exactly. Like you're always like figuring stuff out.
Right. And like, I don't know, people just need to be more like sensitive to that.
Oh yeah, I would say that's definitely true. Like normalizing fluidity I think is like very important because I think everything's very fluid, like gender, sexuality, like just everything. Like I feel like to stay stagnant is like it's not to say that those things must change, but the fact of the matter is they can change and evolve, and like that people think that those things are so like stuck and like and stagnant, but they're not.
Because that's how, like, for the longest time, like, society used to be.
Yeah, I mean, and the funny thing is though, going even further back, it used to be opposite.
Right, right.
So I think that that's funny how we've evolved to put each other into boxes that are increasingly becoming like tighter and tighter and like don't fit anymore.
Yeah.
As we grow as a society and like our minds expand into like other types of like intellectual pursuits, but it's like interesting how that's happening. It's like the more we know, the tighter they constrict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just respect people.
Yeah, just respect people. Because at the end of the day, it's like a frustrating experience as someone who's gone through it
Yeah.
to be told that.
Yeah, let people be who they want to be and express themselves as long as they're not hurting others or hurting themselves.
Yeah.
You know,
let it be.
Be who you are.
Yeah, be who you are and like be proud of who you are and like figuring things out in your journey and all of those things.
Yeah, it's okay to grow and learn and
make mistakes and like be unsure and try out labels. I spent a lot of time like worrying about that shit when really like I think that was not needlessly worrying because ultimately I do think it has meaning, but I think that like, agonizing over something that, really should have just been like this should have been our relationship, us starting a relationship should have been a good time and of an exciting time, right? But it was coupled with the fact of like my intersecting like identities, and that made things a lot more complicated and was the biggest reason why we didn't start dating like sooner.
Right.
Because like I just was working all that shit out and was still working it out when we decided to start dating.
Yeah. You know what I thought I just had trying to put myself in your shoes is, what if I were in your scenario? What if you were a man, but you were exactly who you are? Otherwise, would I still be attracted to you and date you? Me being a straight man. And the answer is yes, I would.
Oh, yeah. Yay.
I would still consider myself straight, but be in a gay relationship.
Yeah. And that's definitely a thing that I've come to terms with too, that like my queerness isn't dictated by the fact that I'm in like a straight relationship now.
Right.
Like I'm still as queer as I ever was.
Right.
And I think that that's important, like an important distinction, especially in that instance. Yeah, like would you date me if it was reversed? Like if
I would.
Yeah, if I was a man or if I decided, that I wanted to like transition,
Yeah.
like that kind of thing. And when you love somebody, it doesn't so much matter.
It transcends everything.
Yeah, it does. Like the package that the person's in isn't as important as like what's inside.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like it makes it just is when you really like love somebody, it doesn't matter so much.
I really love you.
I really love you too.
Yay. Okay. You ready to play this game?
Sure.
All right. We're playing a game called Let's Get Deep. It's from the creators of What Do You Meme? And this is the questions for couples version.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe how it works is there are 3 categories of cards with 3 various levels. The first level is an icebreaker. Second level is called deep, and then third level is called deeper. So it's like varying degrees of depth for questions.
Yeah.
So
they got a spicy version that I want to get too.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, spicy. But I don't know how Lexi, you wanted you wanted to go on the podcast?
Yeah, because I'm gonna be like,
I don't know what they have in there, so
because I was thinking, we could do a whole entry just on that, but then I'm just like, well, this is already, all the episodes are already labeled as explicit, but do I have to at the end of this, at the end of that hypothetical one, put NSFW, not safe for work?
not safe for work. Yeah, maybe. I mean, we'd have to go through it and be like, are these too spicy for the pod? But
Maybe.
we have to see.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, we'd have to get the game first.
Yeah.
But so let's start with this one. Let's start with one of the icebreakers.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yay.
Work to live or live to work?
Ooh, it's funny. I just answered a poll on this not that long ago.
I got to understand this first. Work to live or live to work.
Is that all it says? I can't read upside down.
Oh, yeah. That's all it says.
Oh, okay. I guess it's in the context of what you're doing right now.
I guess however you interpret it. For me, the way I'm interpreting it,
or what would you
work
prefer?
to live sounds like kind of like what a lot of us millennials and Gen Z are doing, just living paycheck to paycheck.
Oh yeah, well I understand that part. Yeah.
So live to work, I want to interpret that as I'm living to do work that I want to do.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is creative things.
Yeah.
So that would probably be my answer.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, I would say like right now I'm definitely working to live.
We're
to
both
get,
working to live.
Yeah, to get by. But yeah, who doesn't want to like live to work, like to have, something that they like a lot and be doing that and like having a passion project and like that's ideal, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the deep question. What is your favorite hobby and how did you get into it?
My favorite hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Reading is my favorite hobby.
And how'd you get into that?
Honestly, I don't really know. Like, I don't have a definitive memory of reading, like being like, oh, I love reading. Like, I have a memory being like, oh, I hate English class. And then, well, I guess like I can pinpoint it to 7th grade English, where I had not only a great English teacher, but I read The Alchemist for the first time, which, to be honest, is a very existential book for a fucking 13-year-old to be reading.
That's the time to do it.
And
I feel like
it's still my favorite book to this day. But honestly, like, it's a book where it's like I've picked up way more, like as an adult reading. I read it actually in college too, much more appropriate, I think, for a college student to be reading. But I feel like, yeah, it's a very existential book. It's about like the meaning of life and purpose, and really the whole point of the book is that you have purpose by just existing. Like, you have purpose by just being here right now.
Yeah.
I would say that I got into is the root of the hobby, I suppose.
Gotcha. For me, I have too many hobbies, too many passions. Like, gosh.
Oh, I think you have hobbies and then you have passions, and they're kind of intersecting, but also, I don't know.
I'm going to ask you this because I don't know exactly what my favorite hobby would be. What would you say my favorite hobby is?
That's an interesting question. Volleyball.
Yeah.
I'd probably say volleyball.
I don't know, because like, how do you define a hobby versus a passion?
I think that's
I think passion sounds like a higher level.
It does. I feel like you would have to define that yourself.
Because like volleyball's
you're very passionate
kind of
about
a passion.
It, though. Yeah, you're very passionate about it. But I feel like it's harder to define for you, perhaps, because you do kind of elevate things like that a lot.
Yeah.
Like you do kind of.
When I love something, I love something.
Exactly. When you love something a lot.
Yeah.
So, and I think that like it's a little bit more like hobby seems like, oh, I do this on the weekends for like, fun. Like you're whittling or something, or you're woodworking.
I guess.
Like, I don't know.
Even though like I mainly do this for a little income.
Like reselling. Yeah, is a hobby.
Yeah. So let me talk about that for a little bit. It's actually, I'm coming up on a year
Oh,
of
wow.
reselling.
I didn't know that. That's
It was
crazy.
October of 2021.
Yo, that's weird.
Where I first watched Gary Vaynerchuk, his series Trash Talk, which is, 'cause at the time I was looking for ways to like, make a little bit more money that like would be like not necessarily easier, but like something that like I could do kind of like on my own time.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't like another like 9 to 5 job or whatnot.
Yeah.
And so I saw him do that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I could do this. And I saw him like going to like yard sales and whatnot and buying things for real cheap to like sell on not Amazon, eBay. And then I gotta shout someone else out who my biggest reselling inspiration, who's Harry Tornado. So the way I see it is Gary Vaynerchuk, he like, okay, I'm going to use a car analogy. He like showed me what a car is, and Harry Tornado gave me the keys to the car. And then I'm the one who turned on the ignition and started driving as far as like reselling goes. So yeah, basically like flipping things for profit, things that are like undervalued, underpriced at like yard sales, garage sales, thrift shops, just even like off of like Facebook Marketplace.
Or out of a dumpster.
You never know what you'll find. You'll never know. I wasn't gonna bring this up yet, but
Okay.
tonight when you were in my car, you didn't happen to look in the back seat, did you?
There's a TV, isn't there?
You saw it. I know. I saw you peek at it and be like, "Oh shit, what is this?" Yeah, I found another TV.
Honestly, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh!" I honestly thought it was.
You thought it was that one?
Yeah,
the other one we have, right?
So I didn't even think anything of it. I was just like, "Oh, maybe he's just."
No, so
I really didn't think much of it, and then like now, what?
Listen. I listen.
I'm listening.
I saw it on the side of the road, and I was like, you know what? Maybe this one will be one that's like people will buy for like hundreds of dollars. And I stopped by the side of the road. I looked up like the model number on eBay. Didn't find any sold comps, but I found similar ones. I found similar ones that were like minimum $100. One sold for $400. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay. So unfortunately, it was raining today, so I had to let it dry out before I can even test it.
It's crazy to me that like you can do that with old TVs though. Like that like blows my mind that like you can just like let because with any other technology, when does that work? Like,
well, I'm thinking. I mean, like, yeah, like if you fucking submerge like an electronic underwater and it's there for like hours, like probably not getting it back. But if you just get it kind of a little bit wet, if you just do not turn it on, do not plug it in, do not let electricity run through it at all. If you just let it dry out as long as you possibly can, I think that is what will
like save it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. I like to resell because like it's kind of like gambling in a way, but like you control the investment that you put into it.
Yeah.
And you can like make calculated decisions. It's
not
not
like
all up to
mindless.
luck. You can you can check how much it's going for online and how much it's sold for, and so everyone's out for that one flip where it's like you buy it for $1, you sell it for $100. Boom, that's easy money right there.
Yeah.
It's quite thrilling. And like, I don't know, I like the packing process too. Like I like presenting it in a nice way that like I feel like some people might view it as like, oh, you're profiting off of others, but the way I see it, it's like, especially like if you get something at like a thrift store or something, someone somewhere might be looking for that particular item, and I am just the middleman kind of to where they can like get it, and the higher price that I charge is the fee for that. And some people might be like, oh, why would I pay for that if I can just go to the thrift store? I say like, go for it. Go find a thrift store that has that exact item in that exact condition that
you're probably looking for.
You're looking for. You're probably not going to find it.
Yeah, you were potentially
You
less than
might.
likely. Yeah, you might find it,
But you might not.
but yeah, you also might not. So I mean,
And it's a lot different from like scalping. That's different. That's the people that like buy out electronics like right away
Yeah.
when they first like come out, like, you know, like video game consoles, and then sell them for like 3 times the price.
yeah, that's like you're just price gouging at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
like too much.
Yeah, no, this is stuff like, especially at like yard sales, that people are like, the people selling them probably just want to like
Yeah, they just want
get
to
space
get
and
the
like,
space, or they're moving,
or they're
like
moving and they
whatever.
just want to get rid of it.
Yeah, they just don't want the literal weight of all the items.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're willing to give you a deal to get rid of it.
Yeah. So, you know, I say give it a try. Look up Harry Tornado, see how he does it. Look up Gary Vaynerchuk's Trash Talk series. It's who knows? I might inspire a reseller today.
Maybe.
Damn, we spent a lot of time on that question.
It's a long one.
All right. Now on to level 3, which is deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this one's easy. Between us, who is more outgoing?
Me.
You think it's you?
I don't know.
I would say it's me. I'm all over the fucking
I don't think it's that.
online. Well, I guess it depends on how you define outgoing.
Yeah, because I'm thinking in person.
Okay.
Like, I'm not out there on social media, but that's by choice.
Yeah.
Whereas in person, I would say I'm more outgoing.
Okay. Yeah, in person.
Yeah.
I would say like you're more willing, I guess, willing to be approachable. I don't know. How would you describe it?
I would say I just have a willingness to talk to other people and like an interest in other people.
Right. Whereas I'm sort of more, I wait for green lights.
Yeah.
To be like, do you want to be talked to? Like,
I'm very much like an introverted
like,
extrovert.
I feel like I'm that way too, but
yeah.
But like, cause like I don't mind. I want to be friendly towards other people, but then like I know sometimes people will be in such a bad mood where like even if you're friendly with them, they don't want anything to do with you. You're just annoying them more,
read the
and
room.
that's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, you got to read the room. We both.
Well, that's what I do. I read the room first.
Yeah, we've talked about this. We do the exact same thing, just in different ways.
Yeah.
Like
differently similar,
yeah.
different.
like because I think we both like do the reading of the room and like the people first. But I think it kind of like the difference I think between us, and at least in this regard, is that you sit and wait for like a green light 100% of the time, where I think like,
you will initiate that green light.
Yeah, I will initiate and make someone feel comfortable.
Right.
Where like that's the difference, I think. Like I put people at ease.
Yeah. Whereas like for me, it's like I will match your energy. Whatever you're putting up, I will do it. If you don't want to be, if you don't want to have like a friendly conversation, we don't have to.
Yeah.
We can just be quiet.
You're like take
That's
it or
fine
leave
with me.
it.
Yeah. But if you start a friendly conversation with me, I will match you where you're at.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think that's a weird question because I don't think either one of us are particularly stereotypically outgoing.
Yeah.
But I think it's like we're both.
It's so funny how when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is easy." I even said it, and then I was like, "It's obviously me."
And that was kind of.
And then you're like, "I am." And I'm just like, "You are?" And I was like, "I guess you are."
But I think it also depends on like the way you read the question, like you said, because you read it as like, "Oh, I'm everywhere online," but I read it as like physically in person.
Yeah.
Like who's good at a party? That's what I'm thinking.
True.
Of.
Yeah.
Like
I read it as like, who puts themselves out there more, and I'm just like, well, I may not do it publicly, but like, online publicly, like, yeah.
But that's also very calculated, as well.
True.
Because like, it's not like there's more. I think you're putting yourself more at risk when it's in person.
That's where it's scary.
Yeah, and that's where like I'm a little bit more comfortable. I think I'm more comfortable with doing that than I think you are. We kind of fill in each other's gaps. That way.
Well, I'm glad I have you then.
I'm glad I have you too. That was an interesting one because we both
that was super interesting.
That was because we were like, it's me, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Well, back to the icebreaker. Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
This is interesting for me. I use both. it still boggles my mind that I don't know, like generations after us are like very much like kind of off Facebook now. To me,
That
it's
makes
still like
sense to me.
I get it, I do, but it's just like but Facebook is how I really connect with all my friends and whatnot.
It's funny because a little bit of a side note, but still related, is I was quite literally forced to get a Facebook because I was moving and people wanted to like keep in touch with me and everything. And but like yeah, I didn't really have I was so like I didn't want to get a phone. I didn't want to be on social media. I didn't want any of that. Like when I was, 14, 15, 16, like I could not care less, basically. And I'm kind of like that now. I still like, I much prefer to have a phone and everything now, but yeah, like social media, I'm on it, but like I use it, but I don't use it like I don't post really.
Well, the stuff that I do, it makes sense for me to use
it.
Because like I love like sharing what I am doing, but also partially because I like seeing what other people are doing. Like if you just had a baby, like I want to know that. That's great. If you just got married, engaged,
great news.
I love that. I understand that like there's a darker side to social media and
which is part of the reason why I don't really do much.
Yeah, this is very much a conversation we've had before.
We definitely have. We have kind of we have differing views a little bit.
Yeah, like we see both sides of the coin almost.
Yeah, exactly. That could be that's a whole nother conversation, really. Like we could go in depth for a really long time.
Before I forget, I just want to say, it's so funny because growing up, my parents told me to not have a MySpace because they were so worried about, because like they heard on the news that like people get kidnapped off of MySpace.
Well, yeah, but people get kidnapped in chat rooms too. So
true, and like, but that just goes to show, I guess, like how much they didn't understand it and just straight ahead just went to fearing it.
Oh yeah, like skip the learning about it and just went to I'm terrified.
Yeah. Side note, I did still have a MySpace.
Yeah, I never had a MySpace. Actually,
I didn't really.
Never. Yeah.
I didn't spend too much time on it, but like I was there enough to like know it, and like I remember like you could customize like the code to really personalize it.
I remember like all the MySpacey things. I just never was actually.
I remember
on
the
it.
music you could add to your page. I kind of miss that. You could make your name pretty much anything. Not like Facebook where it's just like, hey man, you got to put in a real name.
Gotta be a real.
Yeah. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because when Facebook comes around, it was a complete 180 between my parents. They're just like, yeah, get on Facebook. Everyone's on Facebook.
Even though it's like super similar.
Yeah, super similar.
Yeah.
Same idea.
Same like concept, but done better.
And I can't believe it started out as just for college kids.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, like you had to have like a college email, I think. I think by the time I was on there, like that, it was becoming more popular. So like I don't think I needed that.
Yeah, that wasn't something that I had to deal with either.
Now it's Meta, and I guess Facebook and Instagram are connected now. So
yeah.
But to go back to the icebreaker question, Facebook or Instagram, I'm gonna have to say Facebook just because it's overall like a more versatile platform, whereas Instagram is still a media focused platform with pictures and videos. I know it's trying to compete with like TikTok now with their reels, and even I think the CEO of Instagram said that we're moving to be a video platform, which I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's controversial.
Yeah.
But I think I'm still a fan of Facebook. Yeah. I still am. I know a lot of people are just like, ew, Facebook, but you're old. And I'm just like, well, fuck, I guess I am. I'm gonna stay on my Facebook, and then you go on your whatever new platform is on now. I probably really just dated myself.
Probably. Oh well.
What was your answer again?
Instagram.
Okay. Well, cool. All right, let's just move on. Okay. Next question to number 2, the deep question. Oh.
What?
I know that and this one I'm confident. I'm very confident.
You were confident last time.
Hold on. Listen to this question though. Have a lot of mediocre friends or only one really good friend?
Yeah, you know this one for me.
One good friend.
Yeah, one good friend.
Yeah, I think.
It's quality, not quantity.
Right. Because I know for me, all throughout high school, I tried to be the guy that was like friendly with everyone, have my hand in like a lot of pots and whatnot, and just associate myself with like a lot of different like groups. And while that was great, being friendly with everyone, like I never had like super, super close friends. And I found myself really wanting that and not having it, at least not until I met you.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
I had a really close group of friends like in high school, junior high and high school. And then when I moved from California to Texas and then Texas to New Jersey, like I kind of lost that. And never really gained exactly that back. I've remained friends with like those friends, but you know, things change when you grow up and you know, you're 3,000 miles away and also a 3-hour time difference. So it's,
Yeah.
it's hard to, I like quality really matters to me
Yeah.
when it comes to like friendships.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, moving on to level 3, deeper. Between us, who is less coordinated?
It's a weird one.
I know. I'm reading this as like physically coordinated.
Like balance?
I guess, and I'm only giving myself the edge just because I did do dance and and I do play sports. Well, one sport.
Yeah.
And so I spent a lot of time with like very much like having to coordinate my body to do certain things. But I don't know. Are you reading this question differently?
No, not really. I just feel like it's a kind of a weird one.
It is.
I feel like I guess you. Like I don't know. I feel like neither one of us edges out the other much. You know.
All right. Back to the icebreaker questions. This one's interesting. Top sheet or no top sheet?
Like the bed?
I think so. I think that's what they're talking about.
Well, we have a top sheet, but we have.
I don't think they're talking about like the sheet that covers the bed part. I think they're talking about the overall blanket, like a comforter. To which I'm just like, who is rocking the no top sheet? Even if it's like hot AF outside.
Yeah.
Like I still would want
like a blanket or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, blanket obviously.
So yeah, I think that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Top sheet. All right, on to the deep question. Lose all the money you've earned this year, or lose all of the memories you've gained this year, and why?
Interesting. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Well, this is interesting particularly for me because I'm generally pretty broke and also my memory is terrible. So basically it's like I lose memories every day.
So
I can't remember,
you're not losing anything.
I can't remember crap. Yeah. Like, well, like how do you lose the money that you've already spent? Like, I don't know how that works.
I don't know. I guess the way I'm interpreting this is like, would you reset the year? As in like, I don't know, actually. I don't know.
What do you say? Would you rather?
The philosophical part of me is probably saying I'd rather lose all the money versus all the memories. But I'm broke too.
Yeah, we broke.
No, I'm gonna stick with the money. Whatever.
Money.
Money.
Yeah, I'd probably say money too. Like if I was to be less logical about it. Yeah. I'd probably be
the
like,
sentimental part of me is taking over. I'm just like, I don't want to lose any memories that I've made this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
All right. And then moving on to the deeper question.
What?
When was the last time you stole something? It's not stealing if it's on the side of the curb, right? That TV. I didn't steal that.
I don't think so.
All right. Next question. I'm from the icebreaker pile. Coffee black or with cream and sugar?
Ooh, that's hard. Both at different times. If I had to pick, probably cream and sugar.
Me too. Load that fucker up. Make it as sweet as possible. Well, maybe not as sweet as possible. there is such a thing as too sweet, but I generally, you know me, you make my coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Very. You're very a sweet person.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
You are too.
Yeah.
But for you both, at different times.
Yeah, both at different times, depending on.
If you had to choose one for forever.
For forever, I guess cream and sugar, because I can like adjust those.
Yeah.
Where like black coffee is just black, but like with cream and sugar, I can put in only a little bit of cream, a little bit of sugar, you know?
Yeah. All right. Here's a deep question. Live without music or without television, and why?
Live without television.
Me too.
And why?
Well, if you want to explain why. For me, it's because music is such a part of my soul that I couldn't forego it.
Yeah.
And what would television look like without music?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what would television look like without music? And then, like, how do you escape music? Like, it's everywhere. You know, it's everywhere you are. I feel like, to get rid of like any of the songs that like have touched me so deeply, I feel like
there was a point. I mean,
it's hard, even though like
music has been around forever, but not television hasn't.
Yeah, although stories have, the essence has always been there, but television as a medium hasn't always been around.
Right.
Yeah, but I guess music.
Yep, we're keeping music by television.
Keeping music.
All right, here's a deeper question. A lot of these are start off as between us, which I guess makes sense. This is a couple's version. Between us, who is more level-headed?
That's hard because it's like they're in different situations.
For me, the answer is definitely you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I mean, I know there may be moments where I may be more level-headed, but I think overall you are
more
level-headed.
I can see that. I say generally, generally you are pretty level-headed. I would say if I were to say who is going to get riled up first, it's going to be you versus me, because I just don't elevate like that ever, unless you really fucking pissed me off.
Well, why does it have to be me? I'm just saying it could be anything.
Well, not you and not you specific, just you in general.
I definitely took that as I guess because you're looking right at me.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say I do get riled up more because I had a parent who would do that sometimes, go from 0 to 100. But then I was like, wait, so do you?
Yeah, so do
you
I.
have one as well. So
we just handle it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is again. Similarly different, differently similar.
Exactly. You either shut down or you kind of fight, that kind of thing.
Fight or flight.
Yeah, fight or flight. I'm a fawn for sure. So it's I definitely appease more than I would anything.
Yeah.
At least with my parents. So, but yeah, thank you for telling me that I'm level-headed. It's not the first time that I've been called that. I'm gonna take it as a compliment.
Yeah, you should. All right, you want to do one more round of all of them?
Yeah.
All right. Last icebreaker. Cook or order in? You love both.
Yeah, I like both, but that's hard.
I'll answer it because so if it's you that's cooking,
yeah,
I will take your food.
Thank you.
But I also love going out.
Me too.
Well,
I like both.
It says order in. Does that mean delivery, or does it mean take out?
Like Chinese food or.
Yeah, because I love our car sessions.
Yeah, those are great.
We'll hit up a Chick-fil-A. Curbside, then drive to a parking lot that's close by and pretty vacant, and then just chill out.
Yeah, we've been doing that for our whole relationship.
I love that. But yeah, are you cooking or are you ordering in?
Cooking.
Yeah, your cooking's better anyway.
Thanks.
You make such good food.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
All right. Last deep question. Wow! Look at this.
What?
What's your go-to meal to cook?
Oh wow, that's weird.
What an awesome one to follow up the icebreaker.
That's kind of perfect. My go-to meal to cook. I don't really have a go-to meal.
Well, you definitely cook more than me, so I my go-to meal to cook, omelets.
Or
I like making omelets.
I was just gonna say bread for you.
Bread. To cook bread?
Yeah,
like toast it?
Well, yeah, very much.
Wow.
A bagel.
Well, wow.
No omelets. You make great omelets.
Okay, if I'm cooking, like legit cooking,
Yeah.
that's how I interpreted the question.
Yeah, I was gonna say to the what is it called? The pizza grilled cheese
Oh.
thing you make?
Pizza grilled cheese.
Yeah, pizza grilled cheese. Yeah, that one. I was gonna say that's also one you made a lot. Not super recently, but like when we first were going out, you made that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Make it like a grilled cheese, but throw some pepperoni on there. So throw some oregano, some pizza sauce if you haven't, and you've got yourself a pizza grilled cheese.
Yeah, I guess if I was gonna pick something, it'd be probably chicken, some cheesy
Veggies.
rice and veggies.
Yes.
Think about
Oh, that's such a good meal.
the cheesy rice.
I'll
and
eat that meal,
Yeah.
chicken, the cheesy rice, and some veggies.
Yeah. It's just because it's easy
All
and it's
day,
also relatively
every day.
balanced.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So it's you got your carbs, you got your protein, you got your grains, also fats with the cheese. Yeah. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And last deeper question.
What?
Oh, this is a good one to end on.
I don't want it to end though. I want to keep going.
Let's save it. Well, maybe this could be a reoccurring segment.
That'd be fun.
If we have time. I mean, if
Yeah.
we have more 2-hour episodes, then we may not
Right.
have time for this, but we'll see. We'll probably break this back out.
Can
for
we do
future
one more
episodes.
round though?
Okay, one more round.
Okay.
After this. Between us, who has the crazier family?
You.
Oh.
Really?
I
would say you.
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't agree?
I was leaning towards your family.
Really? Okay, tell me why, and I'll tell you why for me.
Okay, so we both have our respective problematic parent.
Uh-huh.
We both have our respective enabling parent.
Mm-hmm.
I think where it came down for me was the siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas my sister's,
Pretty chill.
yeah, I got zero problemos with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying your sibling is bad or anything, but I'm just I know they have their fair share of problems. A lot of them not their fault.
Yeah, the majority of them really not their
Yeah.
fault. See, but my viewpoint was that your mom makes up for all that. Your mom is my problematic parent is problematic, but not as aggressive, but somehow not as confrontational in a lot of ways than your mom is. Yeah, I don't know. I feel I also feel you have varying levels. I feel while my parents are kind of similar to your parents in a lot of ways, it's your parents kind of dial it up to a 9, where I feel my parents can sometimes be a 7 or an 8. You know?
Yeah.
Especially with how much the enabling parent enables, and then the more problematic parent is problematic. I can't say that I ever gotten super physical with my dad.
Yeah, I've had my physical bouts.
Yeah.
With my mom, not me, being the one to start getting physical, but she's definitely I've had some fun times with her. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how like this is another one where we both agree and don't agree. Like
we both thought the opposite
yeah, we both
answer
thought the opposite.
for this.
Yeah. I feel like it's just fair to say that like both of our families are kind of like a lot sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like they both have their moments where the other one is crazier than the other. It's just depends on the month and the week and the whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. My mom definitely doesn't listen to this podcast. I don't even know if she knows what a podcast is.
Yeah.
How funny would it be if like just one episode we just had her on?
Yeah. That'd be funny.
Because she has no idea like
all the shit.
Yeah, all the
all
stuff
the
like we've already preset about her.
Oh yeah. Well, there's not much that I haven't said on here that you haven't said on here that you haven't already said to her face. So.
Yeah. Well, I said it to her face, but I don't know how much actually like sticks.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Yeah, or what even has the capacity to stick.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, all right. You want to do one more round?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Icebreaker. Ooh, pizza or pasta?
Pasta.
I'm going to say pasta too. Pasta's a little bit more versatile.
Pizza's good, but I don't know. Fettuccine Alfredo.
Ooh.
Just like there's so many different kinds of pastas, and like pasta can mean like pasta, like spaghetti, or it can mean like lasagna,
Yeah.
So there's lots of different meals.
Yeah, I'm going to go pasta as well. That was a fun one.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, here's a deep question. Ruin the surprise at a surprise party or show up and realize too late that it is a black tie event? I'm trying to decide too which one I'd go with.
I think it's because it's in my nature to like ruin surprises because I kind of hate surprises and you like surprises.
Yeah, for me, I'm just like, ooh, ruining a surprise would ruin me.
Yeah.
So I think I would go with the showing up and realizing too late that it's a black tie only event.
Yeah. And that part is like, I guess, like, yeah, I would say that too, just because I really wouldn't care.
I would hope that I'm in something that isn't so, like, I'm so underdressed that, like, it's laughable.
Exactly. And even that part, like, I literally am like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, I would
like,
hope I'm at least, like, in, like, a nice Henley or something.
Yeah. Like, I just wouldn't even care enough, to be honest. I'd be like, all right, well, this is my life now. I'm just gonna make this work.
Yeah. But ruining a surprise, that would ruin me.
I would feel like guilty for ruining the surprise. Like if it was for like other people, then I would feel like shitty about that. So then I'm like, okay, well, let's not give my anxiety anything else to feed off of.
Yeah.
At least with the other one, I'm just like, oh well, whatever.
Yeah. All right. And the deeper question between us, who is touchier?
You?
I think I am.
I think you are too.
Because you know me, there's only a certain few places where I like to be touched, and
and that's not to say
I
like
love touching you.
Yeah, and that's not to say that like I wouldn't touch you more.
This is the NSFW part.
Yeah, it's not to say that I wouldn't touch you more either. But like you said, it's like you're a sensitive boy, and you don't like being touched all the places. You have particular places.
I'm very ticklish.
You are very ticklish. Like places that I didn't think someone could be ticklish, you are ticklish. So
I feel like you touch a place enough, like you can get ticklish.
Yeah, I mean probably, but even so, it's just like you're very squirmy.
Because like I feel like my arms aren't that tickly, but like if you keep like going at it at one spot, I might be like, stop it.
Yeah, exactly. But either way, yeah, I definitely think you're more touchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I guess that concludes it.
I guess so.
For now. Let us know if you like us doing this game. I think these were some good questions.
Yeah, they're fun. I like them.
I think now that I'm sort of breaking like the fourth wall and talking directly to the audience. If you like this podcast, you can leave us a review. I know, I believe Spotify does it as well. I know Apple, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, there's definitely a big review section. It would help us out. Rate us 5 stars. Or if you don't like us, let us know. If you're listening on YouTube, you can leave a comment. But yeah, I know I've had people reach out to me and tell me that they really enjoy it, and I know people verbally tell you a lot of your coworkers listen and are very supportive of the podcast. Shout out you guys, you know who you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know if you want us to make this a recurring segment, the Let's Get Deep questions for couples. So I thought this was fun. Any last things you want to say on our 7-year anniversary?
Well, I think a good question, for both me and you and that I've gotten asked before is, what is the quote unquote secret of a good relationship, or being with someone for as long as, we're by no means we're together for 30 years, but 7 years isn't an insignificant amount of time. It's quite a bit of time to be with somebody, and we've known each other for even longer than that at this point. So I feel like we got some things to say.
Yeah.
Got some things to say about things.
Yeah, that's a great question that I feel like people at all stages of their relationship, no matter if they've been together for 1 year, 10 years, 50 years, get asked and are trying to answer themselves. I would say it comes down to very much genuinely caring about the other person and wanting to be with them.
Yeah. And wanting the best for them, as you would for yourself.
Right.
Wanting the best for you also means wanting the best for them.
Right.
And also mutually caring enough about the other person to, want your relationship to succeed.
Right. I agree.
And
then there's a lot of things that come with that. Obviously you have to be communicative, you have to be trusting, you have to be loving, you have to be supportive.
Yeah, you have to work well with each other.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of that is based on, how well suited you are to one another. But
you have to be real with each other.
Yeah. Here's a question for just on a personal level. How much of our relationship do you think is based on the fact that we're just well suited to each other? And then how much of our relationship is based on the fact that we've built a lot of this and we've talked about a lot of our problems and we are very we do communicate with each other very well and we know each other's strengths and weaknesses.
That's another great question. I think it's a straight split of 50-50.
Yeah.
Half of it has been us just being the products of very similar environments. And the other half of it is us putting in the work with each other to build that relationship, that trust, that love, that emotional maturity.
For sure. I feel like it's definitely a question I get decently regularly because it's a lot of people just don't believe that I've been with someone this long. It's you're so old.
I think it's people don't. I think it's that people don't believe you've been with someone that long and you're not married yet. Because I feel like people our age
I think it's more of I can't believe you've been with someone so long and you still like them. That's my feeling.
I guess so. Where I was going with it was people our age will be with someone for a year or two and decide to get married. Where it's just well, we would definitely be married by now if it really just comes down to
money. But also when we were first getting together, for a year, 2 years in, I wouldn't have said I wouldn't have married you, but I don't think I would have felt as nearly as confident.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been oh yeah, because when people ask me people have asked me friends or people at work, will be like, oh, like, have you even talked about getting married? And I was like, fuck, we've talked about it a lot. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
But like it's not if we are, it's like when.
Yeah.
You know,
See, that's the thing.
That's the difference.
Everyone take notes because, especially, guys, the surprise of a proposal shouldn't be if, it should be when.
Yeah.
Because
you should talk about marriage before you propose.
Absolutely, yeah. Because you don't want to especially if you publicly propose,
and they say no.
They say no, or they feel pressured to say yes, and it's just that's not fun.
That's not fun either. And then they either have to say no, and that's embarrassing in front of all those people, or they have to say yes and then back out of it later, and that's still bad.
Yeah.
And is painful. And you spend all that money on a ring.
Yeah. So just talk about marriage before proposing.
Yeah, please.
Because that'll just save a lot of broken hearts.
Yeah, for real.
Potential broken hearts.
Yeah, for sure.
Will you marry me?
Yes.
All right, cool. See how easy that was?
See how easy it is?
That was not a real proposal. Everyone calm down.
Yeah, exactly. It's like...
You'll know on Facebook and Instagram. It'll be Facebook official.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, man, I remember when that was a thing.
That was a big thing.
Going back to the whole Facebook thing. I was so excited to change my relationship status to in a relationship with.
Yeah, that's funny. Makes me wonder how much more will we have to say in another 7 years kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it's closer to 15 years.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the reason I started this podcast is because I want to see where we were. That's why in the beginning of all these, I addressed my future self because I know I will be looking back on this. I'll have something to reference, and it'll just be interesting to see, like you said, where we're at in 7 years, where we're at in 70 years.
Well, I think we might be dead.
I'll be around. I'm gonna live forever. No, I'm kidding.
Well, you're in your late 20s, and I'm in my later 20s.
I will outlive the queen.
Oh, are we going to the queen's dead?
I meant age,
Oh, age
I have
wise.
already, in that sense, I have already outlived the queen.
Her, yeah. I was but she's been. You meant age. Got you.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? I was like, are we gonna be cryogenically frozen? Was that what's going on?
I'm down. Walt Disney's somewhere cryogenically frozen.
Yeah, it's a theory. Do you have anything else to add to the questions? Do you have any questions for me?
Will you sing at my wedding?
So funny. I was thinking that too. I was like, oh, is he going to say that? I also thought about saying that to you. But I said it to you the last one.
If you haven't heard our last entry, it's all about musicals, and all throughout the day I was listening to The Wedding Singer, obviously. So that's been in my head, but yeah. I can't wait for our wedding.
Yeah, me too.
All right, well, I hope this was worth your time. It was definitely worth mine. As always, keep wondering, and go all
in.
Yeah.